Well, the Suns went down to Texas. They were looking for a soul to steal. And instead, they lost 2 games in a row right out of the All-Star break. We knew that coming out of the All-Star break, 27 games remained for the Phoenix Suns. And guess what? Toughest schedule in the NBA. That's what they were facing. Losing to the Dallas Mavericks sucks, right? They go from the 5th seed to the 7th seed in one fell swoop. But you know what? Second night of back-to-back, playing the Houston Rockets. Matthew, we talked about it last night. This is a win.
Yeah.
You locked this up. This is a win. This is the Houston fucking Rockets. It's a win. It's a loss.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. But then also like what I wrote in the pregame, just really get into things early on before if you even want to talk about a Rockets matchup with the Suns, which just seems so boring. I'm just like, if this team can get any kind of like confidence in themselves, and of course hitting 15 threes, they were feeling themselves. It's gonna be a long night for the Suns, and it was a long night for the Suns for sure.
Yeah, Suns come out and look great, right? They come out and they smack them right in the face. Through the first 7 minutes of the game, the Rockets have 9 points. And then the Suns do what the Suns do at times. It's this false sense of security. They're like, hey, we're smoking this team. Cool. We don't have to focus. And the moment you take out focus for the Suns, you can write it on the wall. They're just done. And that's been the story in a lot of their losses this season is they lose focus for what feels like a split second maybe to them, but it ends up being in the entire second quarter. And they give up 37 points in the second quarter to the Houston Rockets. And a team that was up 16 at one point is now down 13 and having to fight back and struggle and play their starters way more minutes on the second night of a back-to-back than they ever should have had to. And the end result is a loss. And as we sit and we talk about the remainder of this season and we look at what the Phoenix Suns have ahead of them, like I said, the toughest remaining schedule, these are the games you're supposed to win. And if you can't win these games, you know that what lies ahead is a long and winding and bumpy road with a lot of plot twists and potholes. But if you can't get through the Houston fucking Rockets, you're a play-in team at best. You're a play-in team at best.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was listening to No Dunks today, and they were talking about the Suns as a play-in team. I'm like, hold on, guys. Like, it's the Phoenix Suns. Like, we'll be in the top 4, maybe top 5. But maybe we are a playing team. Maybe we're just not that good. But also missing use of Nurkic, of course, and Bradley Beal. That's fine. Like, there's an excuse there. But with Kevin Durant and Booker, you got to figure it out. You just got to finish this team off. You got to get the victory. And we play them 2 more times. It's just like now nothing's easy. Now nothing's a given. I know we're confident going into this game, but we're not the team we ever thought we were. We always think like with these games, it's like we should be up. We should be up big. Get some rest, Booker and KD. I think it happened like once this season. So we're not the team we thought
it's
we were.
Happened like twice.
We are what we record is. What the record
right?
is.
Like we beat the shit out of the Pistons right before the All-Star break, and leading up to the All-Star break, we're like, okay, this team's starting to get its rhythm. We're starting to see some of that gelling that we've been needing. The defense is still suspect, but it's starting to slowly and surely get better. And tonight, once again, we play an athletic team that we have to play 2 more times next week. An athletic team that just eviscerates the Suns by penetrating and popping and hitting their threes and gaining confidence. And the Suns don't have any of those aspects. It's chunky. It's clunky on both ends of the floor. It takes a fucking great game by Bol Bol to even let us back in this game. So plenty to talk about on this edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. And yeah, I'm a little grumpy tonight about this. Matthew got all the cookies. I got no cookies. No cookies were brought home from Stephanie's. I'm cookieless over here, and I was really.
I ordered some cookies. I ordered them from DoorDash.
Yeah,
and they're gonna sit in my freezer until Monday. I'm not gonna eat them. I'm gonna take them to work. Well, you got to pay for them, dude.
Somebody else bought cookies.
My mommy. What's going on?
I just wanted cookies.
It's all right, dude. We'll be through this quick. We'll get through
it. Welcome to the Suns Jam Session podcast. Please follow the show at Suns Jam on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, all that stuff. My name's John Voida. You can follow me at Darth Voida on Twitter. You can read my writing at brightsideofthesun.com. His name is
Matthew Paul Lissi. And you
And you can
find
follow
me,
him.
and you can follow me at Matthew Lissy.
That's right. That's right. It's a way to confuse all the brand new watchers that we have out
Yeah.
there. If you
They're
guys
like,
get a
"Ooh, this is interesting.
they're
This guy
like
doesn't know
Matthew
what he's even
Paul
fucking saying."
Lissy, and he's got cookies apparently in the freezer. But a reminder, if you want to go to phoenixfits.net, use promo code SUNSJAM10 to get a discount on some pretty fly gear, some pretty fly Phoenix gear, even though you might not want to be seen in public with it right now, although the majority of people don't give a shit because it's Phoenix sports. So pop them if you got them, Suns fans. It's Friday night. We just lost to the Rockets. Welcome to the Suns therapy session. It's a loss for the Phoenix Suns, 114 to 110 in Houston. Their quick 2-game road trip to the Lone Star State results in 2 consecutive losses, which is going to go ahead and bring me to my first question for Matthew.
Oi, Matty! Mate, I've got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask. No Bradley Beal, no Yusuf Nurkic. You're missing 2 out of your 5 starting 5. Do you allow that as an excuse for this loss?
No, not at all. I think you have a guy that joined the team today, Thaddeus Young, and I wanted that to be like the big celebration today. I was like, you know what? Suns pulled out a victory, a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, maybe dwindled down to 11, and they held on to it. Thaddeus looked great in the Suns uniform. And let's look forward to the Lakers on Sunday. But no, it's a loss. 0-2 after the All-Star break. There's no excuses. Like I said before, to start the pod, you have Kevin Durant and Booker. Figure it out. You have a guy in Bol Bol that should have probably kept getting the ball at the end of the game. This is why it's like last game when Booker put up like the 35 points. I'm like, it's a good game, but it's not enough. It's not enough right now. And I think maybe this team just takes some time after a break. Maybe when these guys come back from injury, it's going to take even more time. But do we have the time? No, we don't.
No, and we talked about that a little bit last night after losing to Dallas, where the continual narrative for this Phoenix Suns team this season has been when everybody's healthy, when they all gel, when all the rotations are set, we're going to see some killer Phoenix Suns basketball on both ends of the floor, right? And we're running out of time on that. And Bradley Beal has lived up to his reputation, and it's safe to say that now coming out post All-Star break. And there was video of him before the game, and he was testing out that hamstring very aggressively in pregame warm-ups. If you go and see that, and it's just like, dude, fucking play. Like, you don't want him to get re-injured, obviously. And we've had this conversation in the past about Bradley Beal. Bring him off the bench. Have him play 15 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
If he's like doesn't want to injure because he has to go all out. Let him come in with the second team unit and like, why does Bradley Beal have to come in and always be the starter? Like, why can't he just like nurse himself back into it if he's had all this time off to heal? Right, it's over 2 weeks now since the injury, and he has some time to come out and just play at an easier pace. But and you can't necessarily fault that, but you cannot allow any excuses for the performance of the Phoenix Suns tonight. Like you said, Thad Young, new addition to the team, out there rocking number 30, enjoying seeing somebody who can come out and give us some defensive presence. His first play, turnover. I was like, fucking great. Welcome to the Suns, bro. You're another one of us, man. Another fucking turnover. 19 minutes, he had 8 rebounds and only 2 points on 1 of 3, missed a layup, a couple layups, so it was really frustrating to see the way that the Suns came out in this game. And when you play a team like the Houston Rockets, as you mentioned at the top of the show, is if they can get confidence, you better watch out. And that's exactly what they did. Is the Suns in the first quarter were allowing them, as they got back in the game, to penetrate and pop. And the Suns are one of the worst teams that I've seen in quite some time that's supposed to be a good team at allowing penetration, especially on a consistent basis. And so by the time that second quarter rolls around, they end up going 7 of 13 from beyond the arc. They shoot 53.8%. They score 37 points. And now you're in an uphill battle the remainder of the game. So no excuses for the Suns in this one. As you mentioned, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal being out shouldn't matter. You got Devin Booker. You got 2 of the top 10 players in the league. You got to beat the Rockets, man. You have to beat the Rockets. It's very frustrating, and my faith is shaken tonight. It is shaken.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like this the rest of the season, and it's been like this all season long. But some of us are chill, like so says Jay. He's chill and he's okay with it, and I'm kind of in the middle, just because it's like I keep waiting for these guys to get together and just go on a little run. But the more and more that we keep pushing that out, the more scared I become. I think if Beal comes back next game against the Lakers and the Nurkic is back and they have a solid victory over a Lakers team that still isn't looking like a Lakers team that can make it through the playoffs and to the finals, then yeah, I'll be a little bit more excited. But right now, it's just like it's about, to me, and we'll talk about them, Booker and Kevin Durant just taking that extra step and just going crazy and just like fucking just taking ownership of like, yeah, you know what? These guys are all over me. I'm not getting calls. Basically, the refs were kind of against them in certain situations. But it's like, you guys just need to step up and take the next step to get this team over the hump. Like, everyone's looking at you guys. And honestly, just the energy was so bad, except for Bol Bol, throughout the whole team, except for Bol Bol.
Yeah, it was a bad first half by Kevin Durant, and then he played well in the second half. And it was just a bad game by Devin Booker. Big Dick Booker. Night ends with a total of 25 points, but it took 24 shots to get there. 7 of 24 from the field, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. The only reason his total was so high is because he was 11 of 11 from the free throw line. 5 rebounds, only 2 assists tonight. And this is where Booker needs to realize if he's off, and he was off. He came out, and in the first quarter, he started off, and I wrote it down in my notes. It's like, hey, look, Booker's being aggressive early on. I appreciate that on the second night of a back-to-back. But at the end of the first quarter, he's 4 of 12 from the field, right? And it's like, if you recognize that you don't have it, go into playmaking mode. Because the other guys around you are feeling it a little bit, but you're taking every shot. And we talk about, the Suns being down as much as they were. The comeback that occurred was Bol Bol, which we'll definitely talk about. But then, like, Booker comes in, misses a jumper. Dillon Brooks blows by him on the other end for a layup. Dillon Brooks only 2 points on the night, by the way. Booker goes down, misses another jumper. Next time down, misses a 3. And that was it. That was kind of it right there. So that's where Devin Booker needs to have that cerebralness as the veteran on this team. And it's not often that he has these poor of shooting nights. But if you go 4-12 in the first quarter, you might want to go, you know what? Let me see if somebody else has got it tonight. Let me see if we can take advantage of a young Rockets team. Now, again, we talked about this last night. A young Rockets team that's a top 5 defensively rated team, but not a great offensive team. But let me see if I can try to play make a little bit and try to get the other players around me involved and engaged, and maybe one of them could catch fire, and then we could feed that flame until it's time for me to try to take over again. It ended up being Bol Bol tonight. The whole time Bol Bol was going nuts. Booker's on the bench.
Yeah, and it was. We'll talk about Bol Bol in a little bit, so I'll save it for that. But right now, I think Devin Booker needs a little bit of just some honesty from me. And I've been on even last game. I said it earlier where he put up the points, but I'm like, it's just not Book. It's just not that guy. It's like when you look at the other end, of course, playing against Luka, you're like, he needs to match him, and he did a little bit last game in the fourth quarter. There was a stretch where it's like you don't want anybody else to take a shot but Book, but it ended up not being that way, and Book got kind of taken out of the game. So in a game like this where he just kind of falls apart through the whole game and he's just kind of invincible, I'm just like, dude, like, how many times has this happened this season where it's just back and forth where the guy looks like Kobe, and then the next game or the next few games, he just kind of is invincible. Like, it's just, he's not game changing right now. And yeah, the stats look good. He's an all-star, but I'm talking about just taking to the next level, knowing that Bradley Beal is probably not going to be in the playoffs. I said this last pod.
Mhm.
You just have to, there's like this certain kind of trust you need to feel when it comes to Book being on the floor. And right now I don't see it. He doesn't stand out. I don't care who's defending him. I don't care if they're throwing Dylan Brooks at him or whatever. It shouldn't matter. This guy needs to go to the next level in order for us to have any kind of chance. Right now I'm not seeing it. And it's like, 24 games left or 25 games. It seems like a lot, but it's not. And just looking at him on the court, the body language tonight was really, really bad. So I don't want to buy too much into it just because it is one night and maybe they let up because it is the Rockets on a back-to-back. But the Rockets played last night too.
But you
And there was an
can't
opportunity.
do that,
You can't
though.
do that. Yeah,
You
I know
can't
you
do that. That's the challenge. That's why people out there are going Luka's Book's daddy, because Luka doesn't. Luka's going to get his. Now, granted, there's a whole nother conversation behind that little statement, right? Like, is it good for the overall health of the team? Can they win with that? Yada, yada, yada. Well, they're 2-1 against the Suns this year, so it's working this year. They've jumped the Suns in the standings, so it's working in that capacity. And on a night where he's not feeling it from a scoring standpoint, he engages everyone around him from a passing standpoint. And that's what we need from Devin Booker tonight. The thing that really frustrated me tonight was how much of a turnstile Devin Booker was on defense. He gets beat off the dribble a lot, doesn't he? Like, he doesn't get in front of guys. His lateral quickness, he just kind of olays people. And granted, like, especially early on, Jalen Smith is like John Wall fast. So you have to, like, I recognize that this is a young team that has a lot of speed guys who have the ability to blow by people. But I need a stat that that quantifies getting beat off the dribble, because I would love to see what that stat is for Devin Booker, because I feel like it happens a lot. And that's why a lot of the challenges that we have with the Suns is on the defensive end. If they're not getting into that rhythm offensively, they can't shut another team down defensively. When we've seen that all year, they can do it in spurts. And when Devin Booker like locks in, when he goes into that like Mamba mode and that Jordan mode where he's like, I'm just going to lock you up, like, he can do it, but he chooses not to a lot of the time. I feel like he's choosing to save his energy for the offensive end, which is okay. But then you're putting the back end defense at risk. And on a night tonight where there's no Nurkic back there to back you up, right? You have to not let these guys try to you can't like give them a free pass, punch their ticket, book their flight, carry their bags to the airport, and let them fly off to Eubanks Island, because Eubanks is just going to get toasted down there. And a lot of what created the issues for the Suns throughout the night was the inside-outside game. If the Rockets were penetrating, the Suns would collapse their defense and leave them wide open three-point shooting. When the Suns stopped collapsing and guarding the three-point line, taking away that shot, it was a layup drill. And so it's this, but it starts at the point of attack defender. And Devin Booker is a point of attack defender, at least tonight, and somewhat consistently this season, very substandard from my perspective.
Yeah, it's been very disappointing. And Sal Soto says Jenner sucking his Bol Bol and leaving him with no energy. Maybe that's what's happening. So I guess they are back together, taking things slow. And Book is taking himself a little. He's taking it slow on the court. He basically is right now. And like I said last game, it doesn't look like Book out there. There's just a lot of energy that is sucked out of him. So maybe it is Jenner, but Booker has to wake up, man, because this is kind of frustrating. I mean, it gets to the point, and I know it's just, no, I'm not even going to say that. It gets to the point where you need him to come through, and you're like, I don't care what the Suns do to win a championship. I don't care who they trade. Booker, to me, is kind of entering that where it's like, I don't care if he is traded or something. If the Suns have to do what they have to do to win a championship, like, it's getting to that point. Like, it just is. It's like, if he wants to be up there and stop being disrespected, go win these fucking games. Go fucking do it, dude. Play the defense like you were talking about. Go out there and lead your team to a victory. Stop standing there waiting for the double team and not knowing what to do with the fucking ball. I'm so sick of seeing that shit, dude.
That's the next thing that I had in my notes. It's how does he not know what to do when he's doubled? Because it was clear what the Rockets' strategy was tonight, right? If KD's off the floor, we're doubling the shit out of Book. And typically, and like, a great example of this, I was watching a Nuggets game a couple weeks ago, and guess what their strategy was on Nikola Jokic that night? For a few possessions, I forget who they're playing, but they go, you know what, we're going to double him. And the moment he sees the double coming, he knows right where he's going to go, or he passes out of it. So another member of his team can get the ball and whip it around and whip it around and whip it around. And there was a great tweet by Evan B from the He's on Fire podcast. A lot of negativity out of him tonight. I don't recommend reading his tweets tonight, but he did have one good tweet, and he goes, every time the Suns get trapped, no one moves to the fucking ball. It's elementary as hell. So part of it is the fact that his teammates are staying stationary and they're rotating over later. But he also sees that, like, if they double team you once, I get it. But when it's coming every possession throughout the entire game, you know that it's coming. And even though your teammates might not be running towards you, you can just pass out of it right away. And then all of a sudden, 2 passes, you're going to find somebody open. But he waits for the guys to be completely on him before he tries to pass out of it. And by the time he does that, a recovery rotation has occurred and it's worked in the favor of the defense, right? You see that when the Suns were trying to do that to Şengün tonight. They doubled him a couple times. The moment they sent that second guy, boom, he's passing out of it. And now we're late rotating on the second pass on a 3-point shot. And guess what? It goes in. It's, as Evan says, it's elementary as hell. So why is Devin Booker not knowing what to do when he's doubled? Why is he a dead end on offense all night? He was a step slow all night. He would just drive in the middle of the lane. Jalen Green's fast and athletic enough to stay in front of him. He'd stop. He'd look. And it wasn't like from lack of back cutting or whatnot. It's not like it was a stationary offense around him. He just was looking for KD every time. And it was a bad game by Devin Booker tonight. It was a frustrating, bad game. And it's like you said, even last night with the 35 points, it was great to see him go off for 35 points, but high shot volume. You know, maybe he obviously didn't get the rest that he needed over the All-Star break. But coming out of the All-Star break, losing the 2 first games, it just puts a complete damper on what the rest of this closing end of the season is, because it shakes my confidence in this team. It sets me in that mindset of, okay, here we go. The ceiling on this team, the ceiling is a second round appearance. Like, at this point, based on what we've seen these last 2 nights and based on what we've seen this entire season, this team is not going to make the Western Conference Finals. I cannot see it happening.
Yeah, and if we're going to say in the chat, and if we're going to say, you know, watching the game, just sitting there as a fan, like, oh, well, when Beal comes back, we have this. But that's the thing, is we can't rely on him. So I know we're great with him. I know that team is very, very good with him in the starting lineup, but we can't rely on him at all. So I take that into account. It has nothing to do with, like, if I'm going to sit here and look on paper, be like, okay, the Suns overall, they look like a team that can go to the finals. Yeah, they do. But you have to realize, like, how many games Beal's missed. It's going to continue into the playoffs. It's like, I want to be optimistic, of course. But that's just the real side of it. That's just me saying, like, this is what's going to happen in the playoffs. So these guys have to go to another level. It's like an adjustment has to be made. Like, Booker has to play all out MJ, Kobe mode going forward in big games to really situate ourselves into a good spot in the West. Otherwise, we're going to have no chance, because teams, like, if you're watching the Thunder, like, when they played the Clippers last night, look phenomenal. Like, the Wolves, like, all these teams in the West, I don't see, even the Pelicans, the Suns have no chance against these guys. We look old. We look like we look like we're more on the Lakers side of things now.
Yes.
Where we're just kind of like hovering around. Of course, we are hovering around those seeds, but it's like every year now, it just seems like, okay, well, could we just limp ourselves into the playoffs and see what happens? It's like, that is that who we are now? It kind of seems like it is.
Well, I'm glad you said the Suns look old, because they did tonight. And you know that when you're going to play the Houston Rockets, that's most likely going to happen. It's a team that's lived in the lottery. They've got Jalen Green out there. They've got Jabari Smith. They've got Alfred Şengün. They've got Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore. I mean, these are all lottery picks over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons. So they're going to be more athletic. They're going to be young. But man, you feel old when you're out there. When you got Eric Gordon shooting 3-pointers and you can hear, like, the Tin Man creaking on his shots, like,
Yeah,
and it's like, and then the sound of a brick filling the Toyota Center because he couldn't hit shit. And I do apologize, Suns fans. The reason that the Phoenix Suns had their 3rd worst shooting night from beyond the arc, right? They shot 22% from beyond the arc tonight. They only made 7. It's because I had money on them. It's because I bet that 2 guys would make over 2.5 threes.
But you won last night. You won last night, right?
Well, that's because there was a really good bet out there, and some coworkers are like, "Hey, man, look at this. It's Booker plus Luka over 55 points. Like, Luka could do that by himself. Booker could do that by himself." That was done in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, you don't have Beal, you don't have Nurkic, Gordon's back home in Houston. He'll hit 3 threes. Booker's going to hit 2 threes. Like easy. He's going to walk into 2 threes in this game. And Grayson Allen's going to hit 3 threes. And Grayson Allen's the only guy who showed up tonight from beyond the arc. But the whole team just looked old. And even like you said earlier, and I just saw So Says Jay says no, it was because of the Aussie watch party. Did the Aussie Suns fans have another fucking watch party?
They did.
And that's
it
why,
was like,
dude.
yeah, I saw it on Twitter just today. I didn't even know it was coming up, but yeah, I saw
those bastards.
That's why.
I know that they're all way too wasted off the Fosters.
0-4? Are they 0-4?
I think they're 0-4. They've hosted 4 watch parties
dude.
over there in like Melbourne or whatever, and every time they do it, the Suns lose. Dude, Aussies. Somebody clip this. Suns Geek, if you're watching, you're the master clipping shit. Aussies, stop doing fucking watch parties. The Suns don't win when you do. We lost to the fucking Rockets because of you.
Yeah.
You.
And when Gavin came to our watch party, did we win or lose that game?
That was a playoff game and we won.
We won. Okay, we did.
Yeah.
Win. Okay.
Yeah, that was a playoff game. Because like the playoffs are right around the corner. I'm starting to figure out where we're going to do our watch parties. You know, like we'll probably do them up at
that place is cool. We went to before.
What's the name of it?
Tequilas or something like that, right?
Trace Agaves? No, Trace Agaves.
I think it was agave something, right?
Blue Agave, Agave, North Scottsdale.
Yeah.
So, Jamsters, ladies and Jamsters, we will be doing our watch parties once the playoffs start. They'll be on the weekends. We'll do them up at Blue Agave. Come hang out with us, cry with us, because the
see
Suns,
me in drag.
See Matthew when he throws
my turn.
It's his turn to do the subreddit stakeout.
That would be interesting.
But know that we won't be there for the Western Conference Finals because this team looks old and Devin Booker just doesn't have it consistently in him. And you look at it like from a scoring standpoint, he's crushing it this year. But they're coming in losses, and tonight I just 7.
It doesn't mean anything. So I think something might have happened where maybe KD told Book, like, hey, in Cabo, I don't think KD went with him, but it's like, hey, I won a few championships. It's not really a big deal. Like, enjoy your money, enjoy your fun. Like, go after, fall in love, do what you want to do on the court. Who cares? You already have your shoes. You're doing everything for Phoenix.
You could be Travis Kelce. Jenner can be Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
it can happen.
But then Travis Kelce does win championships. So, and I know Book's not on Luka's level, of course. I keep seeing that in the chat. But the thing is like he's gonna have to be close to that for the Suns team to have a chance. Just saying.
Well, it might just be time to start Bol Bol.
Look up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
Bol Bol, motherfucker. Dude, best Bol game of the season. 27 minutes played. He was 11 of 17 from the field, 25 points. He matched Devin Booker in 7 less shots and 9 less free throws, mind you. 25 points, 14 rebounds, 8 on the defensive end, 6 on the offensive end, 1 block, 1 steal. Bol Bol season. Matthew, you're here for it, aren't you?
If you smells good. Smells good. That bowl smells good. I love what I'm seeing out there. We knew we would see him tonight. Was absent last game. Everyone's like, where's Bol? Well, he's here. He's gonna really kind of dominate the Rockets. But you think inside, maybe just inside in the paint, grabbing some boards like he did with 14 tonight. But those 3-pointers, man, hitting 2 in a row, getting an and 1, and then what did he make? 11 points in a row for the Suns. Like, it's just that quick. Where a guy like that can come into a game and change things for you. So it's nice to have that. It is. And I don't know if you were joking or not entering the starting lineup. It's probably a joke just because it's every other game. It's just when it's a good matchup. But for me, I just want to consistently see it. Like when you have guys like Eubanks who keep getting minutes, and I know Bol Bol's not a true center or anything like that. I would just rather start Bol Bol with Kevin Durant, see how that works. But then also Bol Bol looks good next to Eubanks because Eubanks does like the heavy lifting at times, a little few box outs here and there. He won't grab a rebound, but he'll box. He won't grab the board, but then Bol Bol can grab the boards, pick up the scraps, and do everything else where Eubanks is kind of just putting in the dirty work. So I do like that. But Bol Bol, of course, he was hot and was wide open for 3, passed it out. Eric Gordon, this is the end of the game. Eric Gordon takes the ball, gets to the rim, and Bol Bol's just standing there like, pass it back out. Eric Gordon, you suck, man. That I didn't say that. That's what Bol Bol said. He said, you suck.
I heard it.
Why did you not pass me the ball? So that was his chance to really take things into his own hands. and end the game. And I think if he gets that 3-point look, he makes it. The Suns probably cruise to a victory, but it didn't happen that way. It just fell short. But great game.
Amazing game. And again, it's what we were talking about last night, and it's something that I was talking about with Rooster a couple days ago on the radio. Was Bol Bol gives you quality minutes. How he plays on the defensive end might not always be what you want, but from a second team, from a bench guy on a team that sucks at fucking defense anyways, at least he can give you something on offense. And he brought out the bag tonight, didn't he? Like you said, back-to-back three-pointers. He's doing the finger roll. He's dunking. I mean, lob, Bol Bol. It was a great game. As John Tran says in the chat, he says, no bullshit. It was just a great game from him. And you know that he's going to continue to earn minutes because of a game like this. And you hope that the production continues. And guess what? He'll have an off night here and there. And we'll talk about it here on the podcast, how he had an off night here and there. But for the most part, he's been the best guy coming off the bench. Josh Okogie comes off the bench, and I'm like, dude, this guy is just like terrified to be out there sometimes. Like, Okogie still has that tentativeness that everybody that we traded for Royce O'Neal had, right? Keita Bates-Diop, Yuta Watanabe, Chimezie Metu, Jordan Goodwoods. They all played with a tentativeness because they didn't want to mess up when KD or Booker's on the court, whereas Bol Bol don't give a shit. Bol Bol's out there. He doesn't. He's unconscious. He wants to try to contribute because he knows when he does, Kevin Durant's is his biggest fan. And he knows if he does mess up, Kevin Durant's going to pull him aside on the bench and show him on an iPad like what he did wrong. And it's probably a Google product or a Microsoft product. It's the NBA. But he's going to sit there and he's going to show him what he did wrong. And he's like, hey, thanks for the learning opportunity. Whereas like if Josh Okogie messes up, Booker and KD are going to yell at him. And probably when they're in the locker room later, they're going to get the towels. They're going to spin him and they're going to whap him in the butt, you know? So he's probably afraid of that. So Bol Bol, a fantastic 25 points tonight and 14 fucking rebounds, man.
It's just that quick. And the best part is that he does not give a shit. Like, he seriously is out there for himself. And that's fine for a play like that. Like, he doesn't need to get anybody involved. He just needs to know what to do more and more as he plays. He's going to figure it out. And you can kind of see it. Like on some of the screen and rolls where he's running with KD, he's a little late just coming over after the pick. And he's there wide open, obviously, for a dunk. But it just takes him some time. Like, all right, like I can roll there. The thing is, the Suns need to keep feeding him, and I don't know why it just stopped.
Well, it's because
it was up to Bol Bol to win the game. It was up to him to win the game
because they pulled him out. They put Booker back in the game, hoping that Booker
like a minute, right?
Yeah, they had him bring back in because they realized because Booker went miss jumper, miss three, and they're like, all right, bring Bol Bol back in. He's fucking missing things right now. So a shout out real quick to So Says Jay. He did tweet out the fact that it is the Aussie Suns fans who gave us this loss, and I think that that's completely valid. I don't know any other reason. That's clearly what it is. Let's talk a little bit about Drew Eubanks.
Big Crank Eubanks. Crank that soul. Now I mean you. Crank that soul. Now I mean you. Crank that soul. Now I mean you. Crank that soul.
So Drew Eubanks obviously gets the start tonight. Yusuf Nurkic is out, an ankle. As we mentioned, two-fifths of the starting lineups out. Drew Eubanks, who had a horrible game last night, played 6 minutes against the Mavs, and we realized he was unplayable. Much better tonight. His 25 minutes, he had 9 points. He had 5 rebounds. He had 1 steal. He had a couple blocks. Very serviceable tonight against this Rockets team. What did you see from Eubanks?
Oh, not much. I know the stat line doesn't look too bad with 9 points, 5 rebounds, but he had 4 points, 5 rebounds going into the half. And then 25 minutes. 2 blocks. I don't really, there's nothing there from him anymore. So, the big X factor for me was a combined effort of Bol Bol and Eubanks kind of going into the playoffs, those bigs to back up Nurkic. And right now it's just, I don't know how Bol Bol falls into it, where he's going to be played and all that shit. Cause he was playing the 3 tonight at times, but I just know that I can't trust Eubanks, and I just know that Bol Bol's going to have to step up even more, and he's going to continue to have to get a lot of playing time to see what they have because no one's really out there to help the Suns. So this is going to be a big issue. And if Bol Bol can continue to gain some confidence, he can definitely help out. But Eubanks continues to lose confidence, and I feel bad because I was a big fan early on, but now it's just the fact that it's just like he's unplayable, and there's nothing we can do, right, as fans. Just sit here and watch him just kind of crumble and just not know what to do on the offensive side of the ball. He just didn't know. Asking
I just
once in a while.
it's a reminder that Eubanks is a matchup based player. And he's gonna have a couple highlights. He's gonna have a couple dunks, and everyone gets, "Ooh, look at the big crank there on Drew Eubanks."
He's
you know?
matchup based against who did he play? And he fucking killed Andre Drummond.
Yes, when he plays Andre Drummond,
Yes.
he can fuck him
Sorry, dude. I
up.
suck at
And
life too.
that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just
Yeah.
the reason I bring him up is if Nurkic's ankle is hurt more than it is, you're going to carry that into the Lakers game. And the Lakers are a team that we really have had issues with this year. We're 3-1 against them. They're a big team, right? Like there's two archetypes of teams that we really have a hard time with. And unfortunately, the NBA is full with these two types of teams, right? It's the hybrid teams that we actually do okay against. It's the athletic teams, right? Like we saw tonight. Athleticism kills the Suns because they can't defend. And size kills the Suns because they can't rebound. And the size that the Lakers has is not only size on the interior, but it's length on the perimeter, because you have guys, and again, I haven't watched the Lakers in a while, thankfully. I know that they're not playing great, but when you have like Cam Reddish, who's the guy that they have, and it's one of the reasons they're actually struggling is because he's out, and I think he's out for the season. Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt's one of those long defenders that the Suns, like when Devin Booker throws a pass, he doesn't realize that guy's that long, and he, tips it, and then that's one of the gazillion. That's why the Suns have a million fucking turnovers, because they can't gauge how long the opposition is. They're like, I mean, what about that play tonight? Sorry, what about that play tonight where like Devin Booker like throws it cross court and like it almost goes out of bounds? There's like nobody there. Like
yeah,
KD
he did that. He
saves
did it a couple times. Even in
it's
the
like,
game,
what-
he threw KD and it almost got stolen. That would have been the game. It was a game eventually, but that would have been ended. It would have been ended a little earlier with that. That's the thing. Those are the moments where it's like, do you trust this guy to finish games out? And it just lately, I'm not even before the All-Star break. It's just, I don't know. That's why Beal, his explosiveness, because when you talk about the speed, the athleticism, and how big teams can be, and Suns really struggle. It's like, well, how are they going to beat them? It's just like maybe a guy like Beal can help out with that, because it is going to be a struggle, and it's something I'm not looking forward to right now at all. We're going to play the Pelicans watch.
I could see that.
Somehow, I don't know.
I don't know how either. I'm sitting there doing the seeding, Oh, and the play-in game. Yeah, we'll probably end up playing the Pelicans in the play-in game. It's gonna be a nice, quick postseason this year, huh? Losing the play-in game.
Suns Jam Session, best season ever.
Suns Jam Session. We'll see you in August. Like motherfucker. Who do you want to talk about next? What else you got in your notes? I'm sure.
I didn't write too many notes.
You were covering the game for Brightside.
Yeah,
so
I did have Eubanks and Bol Bol, of course. But I mean, the new guys. O'Neal was terrible, obviously. Just a rough game, which is fine. He's allowed once in a while. So
yeah, he's a bench guy.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's go with Grayson.
Hi, Barbie. Oh, hi, Alan.
Oh, Grayson Allen, our fuck shit up guy.
All right, so obviously a challenge that the Phoenix Suns have had this season is the lack of a point guard, right? Like, yes, Kenny, I agree. Beer is good, my friend.
Cheers.
Happy Friday night.
It is delicious.
It is delicious. I love a good beer. It's only 3 points on Weight Watchers.
Nice.
I've lost 16 pounds.
16 now. Very good.
Yeah,
I was telling everybody today at the at my sister's that I'm like, I was like, hey, what's up, skinny man? Or what? I don't forget what I was calling you last podcast. I'm like, I noticed right away you lost some weight. So
yeah, got a new job, got a new rhythm of life, younger, which is nice. I just feel healthier, except for my back.
You look healthier.
My back. Whoa, were you saying I looked very unhealthy before, and you just
you could tell you look healthier. No,
you son of a bee. But that being said, one of the things when we talk about Grayson Allen, and we all have like group chats and Twitter chats that we're involved in. I'm sure a lot of you who are watching and listening to the podcast do. And, I have a group of buddies from work who, we talk about games and bets and all that fun stuff, dude stuff. And that's part of the conversation that was going on tonight. As a reminder is, the lack of a point guard for the Phoenix Suns. And it's something that as Suns fans this season, we've tried to talk ourselves into positionless basketball. And a lot of people have drawn their line in the sand on this, right? There's people who are like, we need a specified point guard, and there's people like myself who say we don't need a specified point guard. You just need some playmakers. Again, the challenge with the Suns, I don't think, and I've said this all year long, it's really defensive and it's the turnovers. And people say, well, if you don't have a point guard, you're going to turn the ball over more. And I can see that side of the argument. But I also say that if you look at a lot of the turnovers, they're careless turnovers and they're made by like Kevin Durant, right? That's not because we don't have a point guard. It's because Kevin Durant notoriously his entire career has just been a little loose with the ball, right? He's 7 feet tall. He bounces the ball from, like where my head is down to the floor. When you put a smaller guy on him, he's got a better chance to knock it away, or he dribbles it off his foot. But one of the conversations we're having tonight, one of the things that I think the Suns could experiment with a little bit more this season, going back to when Grayson Allen had those 14 assists, is why don't we see more Point Allen? Why don't we see it? I mean, he doesn't have to always be the guy in the corner just shooting threes. He's great at that, and that's a wrinkle in the offense. But we saw it a few games ago where he has the ability to play make. He's a guy who knows how to penetrate and knows how to beat people off the dribble. And we saw tonight how that works for the opposition, right? You penetrate, defense collapse, you pop, they can hit a three, or you can pass the ball twice around. I mean, you put pressure on the defense. The Suns don't put pressure on the defense. They sit there and the challenge with this Suns team is the same challenge that all those Suns teams had back when the Spurs were beating us every season. We don't impose our will. We let the opposition dictate, and then we try to play off of them. So change it up a little bit. Let Grayson Allen play some point. And I see Maya B in the chat. She says, well, he can't defend. Well, I'm talking about on offense. On offense, let him, play point a little bit more. Initiate the offense. Let him run that high pick and roll. You think with all these different playmakers that we have, Nurkic obviously being injured, Beal obviously being injured, but being part of that starting five, that you'd see more than just like Booker running high screen roll action with Nurkic. You think it'd be KD. You think it'd be KD and Nurk. You think it'd be Beal and Allen. I mean, there's so many things, and the Suns just, they don't do it. They have their set. It's like Kyle Shanahan, right? Who, head coach for the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, he's got a reputation, just lost the Super Bowl. He was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons when they lost the 28-3 Super Bowl to Tom Brady. But he's a guy who notoriously scripts like his first 15 plays. And that he's like, well, this is what we're doing. I've masterminded this. That's what the Suns do in their offense. When the opposition starts getting on a run, the Suns are like, no, we're just going to kind of do our thing and run our same shitty offense over and over again. I think at the end of the day, this long dissertation is when the season ends, fire Kevin Young.
Oh, wow. Okay. Woo!
Dude, our offense is just stagnant, man.
I know. I think he kind of leaves it up to those guys, though. So Allen, of course, what a great stat line. 15 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. Insane.
Yes.
And in the fourth quarter, he kind of took that three and drilled it. He's like, all right, I'm getting us back in the game. And I think it was just too late. It was kind of like, when Bol was bringing us back, we got the 2-point lead. It's like, keep going to him. Don't stop. Grayson Allen should have just stepped up earlier and should have been that guy. And I think, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, where it's like, hey, Book, you're not feeling it tonight. You started out 4 for 12 in the first quarter. Let's just give it up to somebody else. And Allen should just took it from him. Allen, he is that guy.
And then Book can play off ball instead of trying to facilitate and shoot. Like, let him play off ball where he excels.
Yeah, and it's, it's the difference in the game. It really is. I think Allen would have won the game for us if he would have just handled the ball more, right?
I don't know, but it's something different, right?
No, I want to see it. He needs to. That's the thing I love about Allen, though. Like you said, Bol Bol, doesn't give a shit. Allen seemed like that guy the first part of the year. He was just like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to get mine, even with the big three. And then when one of them's out, I'm going to step up. He needs to go back to that Allen because we miss that. He's not the fuck shit up guy anymore.
No, he's not. I'm going to continue to play the drop because I want him to be. And the other thing is Frank Vogel making adjustments. It's another thing I put in my notes is, here we are, 2 games out of the All-Star break. You got a week off. Did Frank Vogel just take his book? Was he just like, all right, here's my playbook. I'm just going to put this down and I'm going to Cabo. Instead of sitting there and be like, okay, let me take a look at what's working. Let me study the film. Let me try to make some adjustments for these last 27 games going into the playoffs so this team can excel and get better. it's just kind of the same old stuff. He's sitting there and he's like, "Hey, Kevin Young, just keep running that stagnant offense, okay? We're just going to." And the team can be a great offense because you have elite players on it, but you need to empower everybody on the team. And tonight was another example when the going got tough, when the Rockets started hitting every three possible in that second quarter. The Suns, and maybe this is like a Frank Vogel thing, he's like, we're not going to panic, right? But at the same time, like, they went into isolation mode. It was one and done. Nobody was crashing the boards. It was just one done, and then you give up 3 rebounds on the opposite side. In fact, I'm going to find this tweet. This is an example of what happened in the second quarter. Okay, let me pull this up. Give me 1 second here. Normally, I have these things just sitting here ready to rock and roll, but for some reason, I didn't. Here it is. Okay, so it's like 8:22 left in the second. Maybe this is the third. Yeah, whatever it is. Jalen Green misses driving floating jump shot. Amen Thompson, offensive rebound. Amen Thompson misses tip shot. Alfred Sengun, offensive rebound. Jabari Smith misses 27-foot three-point shot. Amen Thompson, offensive rebound. Drew Eubanks, shooting foul. Jabari Smith makes both his free throws. Devin Booker misses 2-point shot. Amen Thompson, defensive rebound. Jabari Smith misses 25-foot three-point shot. Jabari Smith, offensive rebound. Fred VanVleet, three-pointers. I mean, that was the bulk of this game. Until Bol Bol went nuclear in the fourth, that was this game, summed up right there. They miss a shot, they get the board. They miss a shot, they get the board. They miss a shot, foul. Suns miss a shot. They miss a shot, rebound. They miss a shot. I mean, it was just like, you got to be better than that. You got to be better than
Yeah,
that.
we hold our breaths a lot when it comes to just watching these games and when it comes down to the wire, because you just know, like, just like last night's game, it's like the Mavericks are going to make it on the other side of the court. They're going to come back down. They're going to come back down with a bucket, whether you like it or not. And the Rockets were doing the same exact thing. And, you know, it was the run with Bol that really got us back into it. But it's also just like the shore up of the offensive boards at times, but it was the turnovers too, because they did have 10 more early towards the early part of the game. I think it was only in like the first half, right? Just 10 turnovers. So they shored that up. So you can see signs of like kind of a little bit of positivity from the Suns, but it all I'm done.
It's how I felt in like the third quarter. You know, at least
Sorry,
you have cookies in the freezer. I was gonna make one final point before we went to the subreddit stakeout. What was that point going to be, Matthew? What were you saying?
I don't even know what I was saying. I was trying to go into something and it just wasn't there.
It was a good point.
Shocking, huh?
It was a good point. It was a good like bow on the ribbon or whatever they say thing when it comes to the Suns.
Let's just try to figure it out for the next 13 minutes.
Rebounding, not good. 3-point shooting, not good.
Turnovers,
free
throws,
better, not good. And let's just do the subreddit stakeout. I think I clicked it.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
So I was in Houston tonight, hanging out on the subreddit of the Rockets. They're as shocked as we are that they won this game, Matthew. They did not see it coming. Where is she? They didn't know. But here's some of the things that they said. Damn, someone tell Şengün he's against Drew Eubanks. Feed him the rock and shoot it. Fuck, we ass. I can't believe we wanted Fred so fucking bad. We pushed the great beard away. Imagine if Orlando actually drafted Jabari like they said they were going to, and we got Paolo.
Like, that's where they're living at right now, right? Like, they're sitting there like, damn, we wish we got Paolo, man. But they didn't get a chance because they took him beforehand. But
Holiday can go fuck himself.
A lot of Aaron Holiday out there, you know? Remember Aaron Holiday?
Yeah.
Ladies and Jamsters?
Yes.
Does everyone remember Aaron Holiday? The guy who, when the playoffs hit like 2 or 3 years ago when we had him, we're like, no, man, you've got to put Aaron Holiday out there, okay? Because he's
We're
He's
gonna do the
the
same thing
answer.
this playoffs. These playoffs, we're gonna say the same thing. Saban Lee. Just
No,
give him a
you're gonna
shot.
say
Give him a
Saban Lee.
shot. He's not on the roster.
I will not ask for him ever. I will
Okay.
never be asking for Saban Lee.
Durant a bitch. He always been a bitch.
Oh, well, don't call him that. He'll confront you.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Find you.
I'm going to tweet that out, and I'm going to send it directly to Kevin Durant, and then I'll let him deal with it. Because yeah, as we saw last night, if you call him a bitch, man, like he's gonna talk to you about it. Okay,
Yeah.
you shouldn't do that. Eubanks. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta find something real quick. Where did I put that? Doom, 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 doom. Oh well. What was I saying? Oh, I was
Eubanks.
Let's talk about Drew Banks, right? Drew Eubanks has been possessed by the spirit of Jock Landell.
Jesus, this is a nice limo.
Yes, it is. Now suck my...
Jock Landell.
didn't see Jock Landell out there today, but
No.
they said he was possessed by
I
him.
forgot about him, dude.
Yeah, he's on there. He's making like a lot of money, like $8 million maybe. And,
So much money.
yeah.
Wasn't Devin Booker supposed to be a star? Where is he?
None of us know, man. None of us know.
Getting folded by Bol Bol was not on the list. Bol Bol looks like them things at the Zamor ruins in the Elden Ring.
I don't know what that is.
We getting killed by Bol Bol. No way Rockets getting bodied by the first gen Victor Wembanyama.
It's pretty good.
That is good.
And then the last one, I kind of like this one.
Shangoon ain't played like himself since he got that line in his hair.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
And not the greatest Shangoon game. Still ended with 17 points and 12 rebounds, but he was 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 6 of 15. He was kind of the guy everyone was waiting to watch out for, but it was a collective effort. It was Amen Thompson coming off the bench. It was Cam Whitmore coming off the bench. 22 from Smith plus 16 rebounds, sitting on my bench in fantasy. Fred VanVleet had 23 points. As I mentioned, Dylan Brooks, 1 of 6 from the field, 2 points. And those 2 points came on an ole by Devin Booker. That's anything on the Rockets. Anything on the Rockets?
No, not much. I do love how a lot of guys on the team are making a lot of money, including Dylan Brooks, who fouled out tonight, 6 fouls, and then got the 2 points. But that's not his game. I was actually going to ask: does he still like stare down the opponent's pregame in layup lines? You ever seen that?
Yeah, he does it to LeBron every time.
Oh,
Like,
okay, so I don't know if he does it now. I think beginning season because the Rockets look pretty good, but right now I think he just is kind of hiding a little bit. He's like, I can't do that with this.
No, like so. Even Dylan Brooks, like so. What I'm going to show you right now is the that's the video. I can't do that. So if you look at NBA players' headshots, everyone's typically smiling, right?
Yeah.
And if you take a look at the starting lineup for the Rockets, you can see here you got Fred VanVleet smiling, Jalen Green smiling, Jabari Smith's not smiling, but he's not looking mean, and Alfred Sengun's got a shit-eating grin on his face, and Dylan Brooks is just like staring down the camera like he wants to punch it. Like he's such a fake tough guy. He annoys me so much still. And I saw him like bodying up Devin Booker and bodying up Kevin Durant, and like even Durant was like pushing him off. He's like, dude, stop, man. Like you're just
I didn't really notice him too much tonight.
Yeah, there wasn't much to notice. It was beautiful.
Yeah. He's making his money now. He got what he wanted. Remember ending last year, they're like, he's gonna go to China or whatever. I'm like, I want the Suns to get him. I want the Suns to sign him.
Gross. Anything else from your notes?
Nope, nothing else from that game.
Let's see.
Lakers.
Suns gave up 9 points in the first 7 minutes. I thought their defense was looking great to start. It just turned out that the fucking Rockets couldn't shoot. Thad Young,
2 points.
Learning his spacing. This is how you know he's new, right? There's the one play in which the ball was passed to Kogi behind the line, and Thad Young could have posted somebody up, and instead, like he cleared out to let Okogie like try to drive, and Okogie passed the ball, and it was a turnover.
Yeah,
like, you learn really quick, dude.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to clear out for Josh Okogie, bro. Like
No, he'll find his
Well-
way or just try to jump through people.
welcome to the team, dude. You don't need to do that.
Oh,
So let's jam
sirens.
start.
Jam star of the game.
All right, Jamsters, a reminder, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, rate, review. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you become an Elite Jamster by clicking the join button down below. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and write us a review. We do have a review.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes,
Bring
5
it
stars.
on.
Rated us 5 stars, wrote a review on Apple Podcasts, so we'll read that right here on the show. It's from what the fuck is going on in your neighborhood, dude? There's like fucking
Can you hear that too?
speed racers and
There's
5-0.
everything going on, man. It's a lot of life behind me.
My
I'm
land,
just sitting here doing this stupid fucking podcast out of the stupid fucking Suns. I
Enjoy
was kidding. It's not a stupid podcast. I love this podcast.
Enjoy your cookies. So this is 5 stars, written by Free Flowing Analytical. Says love. That's the title. Says, dude, I love this pod so much. My favorite Suns pod out of the 5 that I listen to religiously. And then gives 6 reasons why. 1, cozy, easy listening. 2, good length for driving or falling asleep, i.e. not too short. 3, most consistent. We get post-game episodes even on holidays and weekends. 4, excellent informed analysis. 5, hella fun whimsy with the custom jingles for each player in each segment. And 6, the subreddit stakeout. Reporting on the trash talk and or interesting commentary from the opposing team's sub is super valuable, super unique, and super funny. And then a lot of heart. So thank you, Free Flowing Analytical, for that very nice review written on Apple Podcasts. You too can leave us a review. It's Bol Bol. The jam star of the game is Bol Bol, right?
He should have had 50 tonight. Should have started.
Maya B. Jam star Jalen Green, fine ass.
Chancellors should give like their top 5 hot guys in the NBA. And then we'll give ours.
Yeah, we'll do that in the offseason. Shout out. I missed this one earlier, but David in the super chat gave a super chat of $1.99. Says Suns therapy session copay. Appreciate
Thanks.
that,
No
David.
insurance
Really,
here,
really
so
do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we accept all major insurances, i.e., we don't accept any. Because this is like Canada. It's free therapy session for you. You don't have to pay for this podcast. You just get to enjoy it along with us.
Really quick. Soto. Should we pick up Poku?
I was going to bring that up. So one of Matthew's favorite players, Pokachevsky, I can't even say his first name, from the Oklahoma City Thunder was released today. It's 2 people that Kevin O'Connor completely missed on the draft, that 2020 draft. Both Killian Hayes and Poku are now waived free agents. Matthew, how hard did you get when you found out that Poku was available?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's a dream come true. It's a wet dream in action. I think that what Poku would bring to the Suns is kind of like what you're seeing from Bol Bol, where it's just kind of like a lanky dude out there that really believes in himself, shows a lot of confidence, and wants the playing time. And I think honestly, I haven't really watched him too much this year, but he wasn't playing too much this year, and I think he still believes in himself. And you know what? I believe in him. So give him a shot, Suns. If it's not Saban Lee, I say sign Poku. I don't believe anything I just said. I just absolutely love watching the guy, but I don't want him on the Suns. All right. I don't. We need a full season with him. So sign him in the offseason.
Good. Don't want Poku in any way, shape, or form. We need a guard. I don't care if it's a point guard or shooting guard. We need another guard. Saban Lee's getting minutes last night. You know something's wrong.
Why did he not tonight, though? Because he did against the Pistons. He did last night, and then tonight he just didn't.
Yeah, probably for the reasons we talked about last night. It's like you get him wide open threes. He's like, no, I'm going to run and jump into a guy instead. That's more fun than shooting a wide open 3. Oh, I'm a 27% 3-point shooter. I probably shouldn't be shooting threes. That's why. He's a 2-way contract. That's why. All right, Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Arizona time. The Suns take on the Lakers. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a bounce back performance by the Phoenix Suns. I think the Phoenix Suns coming back home to the Valley after a little Texas road trip after the All-Star break is maybe what they need. I'm looking for Nurkic and Beal to suit up and get this thing started. Let's get it going, guys, because I feel better now that I let all that frustration out, and I didn't mean anything what I said about Devin Booker. He'll be a Sun for forever, but with LeBron coming here and they're winning tonight against the Spurs, lost last night. Lakers should be beatable, but who knows what Suns will show up. What are you thinking?
Offensive rating 18th in the league, defensive rating 14th in the league, net rating 19th in the league. They're a team in the middle, just like the Suns. I don't know what to think. I honestly don't.
I don't know either.
I don't. The Lakers, like I said earlier, they're a team that's long, and the Suns have a hard time with those long teams. So we shall see. It's a Sunday matinee game. We'll go from there. Jamsters, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out with us, whether you're watching along live, watching later, or listening at another time. Enjoying your weekend. We'll see you on Sunday afternoon after the Suns play the Lakers. Hopefully we can be a little bit more positive about Devin Booker and this team holistically, because 2 games dropped right out of the break. Not what you want to see. So have a happy Friday night. Matthew, tell them what to do.
Go home and love your cookies in the freezer.
A bitch.
Cookies, okay?
Are you eating the cookies?
I'm not. I'm saving them for work. I'm going to bring them to work.
Check out the Perfect Bite, everybody. Go on DoorDash. Perfect Bite. You can live locally in Arizona. The best cookies on the planet.